welcome back to episode 3 of the Disney Buzz Podcast. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling spectacular. Speaking of which, by the way, what was that spooky music that I was hearing?
Right? It can only mean ghost stories.
Are we talking about paranormal ghost stories at Disney?
Yes, I believe we are.
Oh, I can talk about the paranormal because I've actually experienced stuff with the paranormal.
You have, haven't you?
I have, and well, I can't really go into detail with it. But I
Hmm.
would say all good experiences though, but I'd rather just leave the details. I would say leaving the details out.
Ooh,
And that would be another episode for our other podcast, our heart to heart episode podcast.
yes,
But we will get into that later.
yes.
So I do have a paranormal story that I actually found by the way too.
Hmm.
Wonder if I should tell it.
Ooh. Do tell.
Ooh, all right, fair enough. So you know the fire apartments, the one at Disneyland and at Disney World?
You mean the train station? Yes, everyone knows that
Yes.
because that's like when they walk in.
Of course, on Main Street. So it has been reported that it's been haunted.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't know this too until, well, I guess doing my research. So there's a story about the fire apartment where Walt Disney lived. So the story goes as this. A cast member looking after the apartment tried to turn off the light before leaving. However, when she came back later, the light turned on again. As she left the building, she noticed the light upstairs, like was on. And so she was questioning herself, and she had said, like, well, why is the lamp on? Like, I just turned it off and now it's back on. And get this, the lamp was unplugged.
What?
Like, there was nobody in the room at all.
Wow.
And I guess you could say when she found the lamp unplugged, she was scared and very frightening. And for me, when I had read the story, I'm like, I would be scared too. I'd be like, just being here respectfully.
Hmm.
Just yeah, it's just oh man, I'm getting goosebumps because of this. Oh my goodness. So according to this article, the last time she went up there to deal with the light, she had heard a voice and she thought it was Walt Disney's voice. And you want to know what the voice had said? Had whispered to her,
What?
I'm still here.
No.
Like I'm being dead serious. And to this day, that light is still on. Like the lamp is still on to this day because people have said that cast members have said that Walt Disney is keeping an eye on his park.
Wow. Even though
Yeah,
e- even though we always thought the light was always on in remembrance of him. That's how we know it. So,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, you can never forget like the man, the legend himself. I'm like, you can never forget that. I'm like, he's the man behind all the ideas and everything.
the one who started it with the mouse.
Of course. I mean, you can't forget about Oswald because Oswald was the first character, and then of course it went on to Mickey.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's another episode for another time. I guess do you have another ghost story?
Yes,
Or should
I,
wait, you
I
do? I guess I
yes.
will say mine after yours. So do tell. I'm interested. I would say I'm intrigued, but do tell.
So I looked this up. It's called they call it Tiki Terror.
Oh,
So so this person, well, this source says it's my hubby story. He's a cast member who works at who works at Tangora Terrace, and he has been telling me that they have a very active poltergeist at the new outside bar. Ooh, people have been hearing voices, things flying off shelves, downstairs in the pantry. Footsteps have been heard, and most recently, for him, he saw a medical. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but a medical container float 4 feet up in the air and then drop. It was an ice metal cup with in a cup. The ghost has became more active since Tangora Terrace had been remodeled. It's not a harmful spirit, it's their friendly ghost.
Whoa, I just got
Yeah,
chills from that. Whoa,
yeah.
oh man, oh man. I would
So
say
was
is
it?
that like, of course, like you want to be like respectful of like the paranormal, especially because like you don't want to like disrespect anybody
Mm-hmm.
like at all. And well, I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, of course, I do have another one.
Ooh, do tell.
So you know the Haunted Mansion, right? Like, I don't know if you like seen a video of it.
I've heard behind mention, yes.
Okay, so there's actually two ghost stories, the one in Disneyland in California and the one in Florida.
Oh,
Yeah. So there, I've actually heard this from, I think it was a friend or a family member, but my
ah,
best memory is from like one of my friends that had told me when him and his family went to Disneyland in California, Anaheim, California. They had said that he wanted to go on the ride by himself, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And he was telling me this over the phone too. And I would say is that this legend has it that um there was a little boy's mom who had spread his ashes in the haunted mansion. And get this though, the mom didn't even have no permission from the park whatsoever. And
what?
so yeah. And my this is where my friend tells like his story. And so he went on the haunted mansion ride like all by himself. And as soon as he got off the ride, like he was walking, he heard a little boy crying, and he's like what? And he went back, and he's like, he was wondering where the crying was coming from, and so he didn't really think too much of it, and so he's had told his parents, as in, I'm trying to remember what he had told me. He had said that he had heard a little boy crying, and so he wanted to go on the ride again, and so his parents were like, okay, like we'll wait for you outside the ride itself, and he's like, okay, and sure enough, he went back on. And sure enough, he rode the ride, and sure enough, he heard like by the end of the ride, he heard a little boy crying.
Wow.
And I'm like, that is the most scariest thing of all time.
That does sound scary.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, no, no, thank you. But rumor, I wouldn't say rumors, but like it has been reported that the little boy has been spotted like at Pirates of the Caribbean as well, which is like right next door to like the Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
So yeah, ain't that something? So the one in Florida is, I would say, is that the one in Florida, the Orlando, Florida, Disney World, they have said that somebody actually got a picture of like the little boy sitting in one of the doom buggies.
What?
Yeah, and this person had said this. As you'll see in the photo after clicking the link, it appears as though as a child is peeking out his head in of the doom buggy and looking directly at me. The foreman member wrote, not only was he not there when I took the pic, he wasn't a child of this age within 20 people in front of me in line. And as you can see, he's only a few doom buggies in front of me. Not only that, what's he doing looking at me? There's no flash, no visible light coming from me. Um, it's all infrared and invisible to the naked eye. And right
Wow.
now I'm looking at the picture and there's like an actual um like a little boy like sitting in the doom buggy. Like it looks like he just came out and looked like he turned his head and just turned back. And I'm like, that is scary.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, but I'm just like I like as much as I'm into the paranormal, I want to be very, very, very respectful. So
Yes.
just putting it out there.
Yes. Everything we say, guys, is for just entertainment only. When
Yes, entertainment purposes only and education purposes only.
yes.
But do you have any other ghost stories besides like
Yes.
those two?
Yes, I actually have this one. It's called Playful Children After Closing.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. But
Yes,
for those who have not, I would say please do tell them.
I will. So this one comes from a this one comes actually from a cast member actually that put this actually because it says it on here.
Oh,
So it says, I used to work as an artist there for about 5 years. The
oh
first
wow.
the first week there, I was spooked by the sound of kids playing in the halls of the storage area, where new it's by New Orleans Square by the courtside staircase. After closing hours, it took me a while to to put that together, put together that we were closed and there shouldn't have been little kids there. Also closing in front of the Pirates of the Caribbean exit, I got messed with, and my niece saw the same ghost guy by the cast member eating area slash storage. Disney is definitely the most haunted place I've ever seen.
Whoa, that's wow.
Yeah.
There have been like reports of people have like cast members have seen like children. And there has been like reported there was somebody on YouTube that has gotten a video from like the outside, like the Haunted Mansion, like the walkway. Somebody had actually got a video, and this was on security camera. Someone actually caught a video of somebody, like a man, walking, or like I think a woman, but somebody had got a video, and it looks like somebody's like walking outside, like through the gates of the Haunted Mansion. Even though there's like nobody there since like the park closed, like, it's just mind blowing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've heard you said Pirates of the Caribbean. There's another ghost story about that too.
You tell.
So this was, I believe, it is either from a guest or a cast member, and it has been reported that George is has allegedly haunted the Pirates of the Caribbean, right, in Disney World.
Ooh.
But I would say is that people actually have like cast members, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
that like actually have seen him before. And this is how it goes. It said that when the Florida version of Pirates of the Caribbean was under construction, a welder named George was killed in an accident. Exactly that, exactly what that accident was varies depends on who you talk to. According to some, he was crushed by a falling beam, which, according to others, he fell from the burning city in quotation marks. If you know the burning seed, like what I'm talking about in the ride, then you know. So I'm just putting it out there. A portion of the ride and died as a result. Ever since then, the ride has allegedly been plagued by strange occurrences whenever George is disrespected.
Ooh,
Um, well, that's all I gotta say.
wow,
There's a lot more to it too.
that's something.
I feel like you have another ghost story to tell.
Let's see. Oh, here's one. So this one is called Spirit Children. So
Ooh.
it says I used to work the swing shift at the stroller shop. One night I was cleaning Fantasyland of strollers just past 1 a.m. A coworker and I were between the carousel and Dumbo when we heard children laughing. We decided to find security to let them know there were still guests in the park. But as we started walking towards Matterhorn, Dumbo turned on music and awe. Since we had just finished collecting strollers from the Casey Jones slash Dumbo queue, we knew there weren't any attractions, cast members operating the ride.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to put for the Pirates of the Caribbean, like there is like videos of like cast members saying like, oh, like you have to say either good morning or good night to George. But if you don't do that, then the ride like messes up completely.
Mm.
So that's what I wanted to add it on there. And I gotta say, I mean, it is something.
Ooh,
Yeah. So I'm like, you have to either say good morning or good night, because if you don't, then the ride messes up completely.
wow.
And I'm like, that's insane and that's crazy. But what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on these ghost stories,
Yeah.
believe they're real. I believe that they could be more investigated in. Yeah.
Like, what's your opinion on like, hearing these ghost stories like about like the paranormal and everything?
Um, Interesting. Very spooky.
I would say that they give me goosebumps.
Mm. There is one more that I would like to add if we have time.
Of course, we have about a few minutes, but we always got time for one more.
Well, this one is okay. So let's go ahead and get this one out of the way, as it's
Of
one of
course.
the oldest urban Disney legends and the
Whoa.
most easily debunked. Well, not debunked, but
Ooh.
uh, so it says
Leave a
Walt
comment
Disney
down
was
below. Leave a
yeah
comment down below if it's urban or if it's debunked, but do tell
okay
your story.
yeah. So it says Walt Disney was known to be a futurist, and rumors of his cryogenically frozen body being somewhere on the premises of his greatest creation started spreading within weeks of his death in 1966. Uh, in January 1967, according to PBS, a reporter from a tabloid newspaper called the National Spotlight claimed he snuck into the hospital where Disney was being treated for circulatory collapse and saw his dead body suspended in a cryogenic metal cylinder. Whew. I'm getting goosebumps just reading this. But
I'm
yeah,
getting goosebumps already.
this one's about how his body was found underneath the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
No.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
No wonder when
So
you,
that is something
no
else.
wonder
But
when you're
you were saying?
looking, oh, I was saying, no wonder when you're looking at Disney Frozen, you get the movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
So that is all the time left we have on our podcast. And
Yes.
I gotta say, talking about ghost stories is spooky and leaves you goosebumps.
Very goosebumps indeed.
And I would say is that if you guys have not already, please subscribe to our channel and leave a like and comment down below what other Disney topics we should talk about. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And should you tell them where they should listen to us?
Then listen to us on YouTube or on Spotify, guys.
Of course. And you can't forget about our other podcast.
Oh, that's right. We have other podcasts as well. Don't forget to listen to us. Our other podcasts are on YouTube and Spotify.
Yes, YouTube and Spotify. And you can follow us on Instagram there, and we will give you sneak peeks to new episodes, especially with the Disney Buzz as well.
Yes.
And of course, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, like the video, and subscribe, and leave a face
Trust.
and pixie dust.
I
We
see
will see
us.
you guys. Yes, of course. And we will see you guys in the next video. Or should I say, next podcast episode.
Yeah.
Right, we will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.